especially when we're talking a foot or more. But when we're talking upwards of an inch of ice, that is where I do have big worries across parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley and into the Piedmont of the Carolinas that this could be a very prolonged recovery. At the same time, Josh, take a look at the snow, and we have the biggest footprint, bullseye of purple for our highest totals, yes, on the I-95 corridor up into New England, where that snow shield has continued to shift ever so slightly north.
And one thing I also want to mention here, as we look at some of this, we do hear different officials who are talking about the wind chill factors that are negative 30, and I know someone mentioned negative 40. What are we expecting for that? Because I can't even imagine what that feels like.
Yes, and so those Arctic temperatures, when we're talking 30, 40, 50 below with our wind chills, that's displaced north of the storm. So that's underneath that Arctic high that's settling up across the northern border. So that's more so up across Minnesota, Wisconsin. But we're still talking wind chills that will fall below zero into the southern plains. Yes, as far south as the I-40 corridor. And that's what's going to, again, lead to the prolonged impact of this. Because when you take a look at this ice forecast, Dallas, where we're getting about a quarter of an inch, maybe a half an inch in some areas. Then we've got the bullseye of more significant icing, over an inch of ice possible in parts of the lower and mid-Mississippi Valley, Louisiana, Mississippi, up towards Oxford. You've got Ole Miss up there. That's where we could see some really significant impact. So once we get the ice on the ground, normally after a winter storm, and what we've covered in the past in several years is you'll get a stretch of more moderating temperatures, right? That's not what we're going to see here. And because we have the coldest of our Arctic air bottled up to the north, that is then going to unlock behind this storm and spill back south, anchor in at the start of the week. So I am concerned that for Dallas, for Little Rock, for Nashville, we are expecting temperatures to be in the single digits. We could see wind chills close to zero that stick around, especially through those overnight and morning hours. And that is what's going to make it that much more challenging to keep people warm. Power would be out. And so now you're talking, the response and recovery effort of trying to get those power crews back up and running. And also, too, you take a look at not just a state level, but the local emergency management level, making sure people have what they need. This is also going to be one of those cases, and I'm really trying, Josh, to be careful because I don't want to scare people. Mm-hmm. I think this is something that, you do the right things, you take the precautions and the preparations now. We'll be able to get through this stretch, but that also just means banding together.